Ladies and gentlemen, Deja Vu here, and we're going to get right into this. This is going to be SKT1 versus Hwasong Oz. This is a rematch from the grand finals of last Pro League season. SKT1 absolutely stomping all over Hwasong Oz and taking down both halves of the final. Fantasy winning 3 times, twice over Jaedong, Kanata winning twice, Hyuk winning once over Jaedong. It was just a real bad day for a couple days to be Jaedong, to be an Oz fan overall. SKT1 didn't even really need Bisu to do much of anything. I think Bisu only played 1 game, which he won against Perfect Man. But other than that, that was really all that Bisu had to do. It was mostly they rode the wave of Fantasy all the way to victory. And Jaedong has got to be feeling terrible after he lost to the Hyuk. He had to Hyuk it all up. And lost to this Hyuk, last year in a ZVZ on Outsider, but this time he's on Heartbreak Ridge. This is going to be Hyuk on the left in yellow, and Lee Jaedong is going to be on the right in red. And I wish my name was so sweet that I could just make that my handle. If I had a name like Jaedong as my last name, yeah, I wouldn't have to have an online handle either. I'd just call myself Jaedong and go for it. It'd be awesome. And it looks like for here we're going to see both players going for gas before pool, so we're going to see overgas builds. Probably going to see a pool coming down next from both these players. Jaedong looks like he might be delaying an overgas into a 12. Actually, yeah, it looks like both players going to go for overgas seemingly into a 12 pool build. And Hyuk actually going to go for 3, 6, 9. Yeah, that's actually going to be they're going for pretty much the exact same build. It's not actually a 12 pool. I think it's like a 10 pool, I think, or something like that. But yeah, this is going to be exact mirror matchup. It's Heartbreak Ridge, so it's a 2-player map. There's going to be no advantage for either player, really. And in a matchup like this, where there is no advantage, and it all comes down to micro, it all comes down to strategy, you have to think that Jaedong's going to take it. I know last season, when he lost to Hyuk, I believe he tried a 12 hatch against Hyuk's 9-pool Speedling build. And really, it was just a build or a win from Hyuk. Jaedong tried to hold out, but it's just too hard. Even for Jaedong, even for Jaedong against Hyuk, he can't win that battle. We saw Hyuk win a couple more ZVZs actually recently, with his 9-pool versus 12 hatch. He took down Quanro, and I think he took down someone else as well. So yeah, he's been doing pretty well with that. First 100 gas for both players going for layer as well. So both players are going to be going for Mutalisk builds, and the reason for that really is the long ground travel distance to get to your opponent's base. It's a really windy, circuitous route, so really Zerglings are quite ineffective overall on this map. Not completely useless, of course. They can work, but Mutalisk are comparatively more useful on this map than in other maps. It looks like Jaedong, I think, threw down a hatchery inside of his base, so he's going to throw down a second hatch inside of his base. And Hyuk, I gotta assume, was probably going to be producing a hatchery as well. No, he's not. It looks like he's actually choosing to produce more Zerglings, so he's producing Zerglings early. So he spent 150 minerals on Zerglings, and it looks like Jaedong decided to use that those early minerals on the hatchery, and he's going to get Zerglings up now. And that really, you got to think, once again gives an advantage to Jaedong, because he's going to have enough Zerglings to really fight off the Zerglings from Hyuk, and at the same time he's going to have another hatchery up way earlier than Hyuk. And if Hyuk doesn't throw in a second hatchery relatively soon, yeah, there it is. It is down, and both players going for Suspire. We could see Jaedong with a small window where he's going to have 2, maybe 3 eggs of an advantage. So that could be another 4 or 6 Zerglings. That could end up being a big deal, with maybe 4 Zerglings and a couple of Scourge, something along those lines. And that kind of advantage in the hands of a player like Jaedong can actually turn the tide in the 30 seconds or whatever it took for Hyuk to throw down his hatchery as well, because he decided to go for Zerglings before that hatchery. So I do think I do like Jaedong's play here so far. Both players playing very conservatively in a ZVZ. Normally you don't see this in a ZVZ. You usually see one player trying to be the aggressor and trying to contain the other person within their base, trying to probe, and then the other player playing a little bit more defensively, trying to get to Mutalisk, and then pushing out at that point. But it looks like both players choosing to just more or less turtle up here and wait. Play the waiting game until they get their Spire out. And it's actually kind of very surprising to me to see that Hyuk has decided to wait for Mutalisk. He must have a lot of confidence in his Mutalisk micro and his Scourge micro to really want to go make it this type of a fight. we usually think of Jaedong as just having the best meatless micro in the world. Him and Zero has very good meatless micro. Calm has very good meatless micro. I don't know where Hyuk ranks in the hierarchy of ZVZ meatless micro, but I guess he thinks that he has to rank up there, because if he didn't, well, he would not be going for this type of strategy. It would just be too difficult. And both players are morphing a ton of eggs. We'll see what type of combination of meatless and Scourge they went for. It looks like 5 meatless and a pair of Scourge for Hyuk, and it looks like actually 6 meatless for Jaedong. So Hyuk is going to go for a couple meatless there, or a couple Scourge there early, and Hyuk is on the northern side of the map, going to take out this overload. Maybe not take it out, but certainly going to do some damage, and Jaedong's going to come and try to defend it. And is either player going to get a first hit there? And Jaedong coming in there. I think he might have picked off one of the Scourge. No, he hasn't picked off any of the Scourge yet. The Overlord does go down, so Jaedong might be at a side disadvantage right now. And it looks like he did a great job microing against those mules. And now both players just bashing at each other mules. And it looks like